What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today, and this is your AEW Rampage 100th episode review and results show for today, Friday, July 7th, 2023. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garicia advance in the AEW Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. So, yeah, we'll see what the 100th episode of Rampage has in store. So right now, kick back, relax. We're gonna get this party started, hit the introductions and everything, and your AEW Rampage 100 review and results show will be coming your way next. Don't go away, I will be right back.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you were checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring, AEW.
Alright, how's everybody doing out there tonight? Welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you're ready to talk about this very special episode of AEW Rampage, which it's their 100th episode. So we'll get into this to talk about it right now. Let me move a few things here on the screen to get it kind of resized. I just noticed that the Rampage screen has not been resized since my new logo and stuff was made, so let me fix that up right. Okay. Get that right where we need it, and okay, we're good. So there you go. How you doing, guys? Welcome to the show. This is very special episode of AEW Rampage 100 review and results for the 100th episode of Rampage. AEW Dynamite for tonight. That review is going to be coming up next. I already have the stream made for that, so don't you worry, guys. You'll be getting that a little bit later. For AEW Dynamite, remember when I said on Wednesday that more than likely you're going to have an AEW double header for Rampage. So, yeah, let me get some of this situated. Getting the stuff finished on the old Facebook page here. And then, let me see what I can put up here. For that. Okay. Just getting the finishing touches finished here, guys, for everything. Hold up. So there's a couple things I didn't do before it came live, so I'm just taking care of that right now as we speak. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're good to go. Okay. Alright, you guys, there you go. So what we're going to do here, the order of tonight, since I didn't get Rampage in, I couldn't revisit it on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, yesterday, so I'm reviewing it tonight for the special 100th episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this here first, and then after this show is over, I already have the stream made, so I just got to copy-paste and create that stream and copy and paste everything into Facebook as well for the Facebook stream. AEW Dynamite review and results will be coming later tonight, so I'm gonna knock out both shows. So Dynamite will be reviewed tonight. And then we'll be all caught up after this, and then we'll be good to go. So, give you the Rampage and Dynamite doubleheader. Okay. And that's what we're on right now, Rampage. So those are the two things that we got for tonight. So I hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Hunter? How you doing? We get into everything here that you guys want and need to know for Rampage. And yeah, Rampage definitely needs to be live. I've been saying it for years since Tony Khan started Rampage, how it needs to be live. I don't know why it hasn't changed, why it hasn't been made into a live show, but now with Collision being the secondary show and not Rampage, I don't even know what's going to happen to Rampage in the future, to be honest with you. I mean, if you want me to be straight up honest with you, I really don't see a need for Rampage. Why they're still doing it, I don't know. I don't really see a need for it because Collision is giving you everything you need, Rampage used to be that secondary show for AEW that gave them that extra hour. I just never liked the whole Friday night at 10 o'clock thing. If they would get rid of Rampage, it would make things, so much easier. Especially, from a content creator's perspective, too. I mean, there's so many things that they can do to, because the whole thing is, alright, look at it this way. Rampage is being used more like AEW Dark, or something like that, so to speak. But here's the whole thing. ROH, Ring of Honor, is basically used as that, as like the farm system, for AEW talent right now. So, I mean, if you really think about it, Rampage isn't even really going to be that. Rampage is just what it is. It's Rampage. So, I mean, I don't know, they need to do something. I don't know what they can do, but they need to do something. I would say, all in all, it probably wouldn't be such a bad idea if they would just cut Rampage. Whenever the deal for it is up or whatever, and, TNT's gotten their use out of it, I think cutting Rampage would not be a bad idea. Even though it's been a good show, it wouldn't be a bad idea. What do they need that 1 hour for if they're not going to have, the biggest stars in AEW on the show? It seems like the big stars are only going to be on Collision and on Dynamite, so if that's what you're using Collision and Dynamite for, why do we have Rampage? That's a question that I have to ask myself. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I'm just kind of thinking, what could Tony Khan be thinking? What is everybody in AEW thinking as far as management? What's the whole deal? So, this is me just kind of getting my head out there, and really thinking about what they could be doing and what really is the use for Rampage, or is Rampage just going on as it is right now because AEW's got a certain deal with Warner Brothers Discovery and they have to finish Rampage up, and once Rampage is finished up then it won't be renewed, because in reality I don't see a use for Rampage. I just don't. I really do not see a use for Rampage. Even though it's good, it doesn't have the use. But anyway, let's take a look here and see what we had on the show, because we could talk about that. This is the 100th episode of Rampage, so I thought that was pretty exciting. Let's see. I'm looking here to see if there was any news and notes on this particular Rampage episode. And they don't have anything specifically to Rampage, but they do have something here that I thought is a pretty interesting number. There's 2 pieces of news, actually, so we'll cover this. We'll talk about it, and then we'll review the show, and then I already got everything set aside, ready to go for, the Dynamite stream, like I stated before. Alright, so news time. Jade Cargill is reportedly not expected to return to AEW anytime soon. Jade Cargill has not been seen in AEW since losing the AEW TBS Championship to Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing in May. A new report in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter indicates that Jade Cargill's absence is expected to continue. Journalist Dave Meltzer cited several posts from Jade Cargill's Twitter account as the reasoning behind her time away, including the record-breaking former champion Jade Cargill stating she was enjoying her time away from the wrestling bubble. Following a 508-day reign as the inaugural AEW TBS champion, it is expected for Jade Cargill to take some time off. Additionally, whether she remains a villain or a babyface, a heel or a babyface, it seems unlikely that Jade Cargill would telegraph any comeback on social media, instead likely opting to surprise the live audience. Jade Cargill's failed title defense against Chris Statlander was the very first singles loss in her wrestling career. Jade Cargill, who's a former college basketball player, made her AEW debut in March of 2021, competing in a mixed tag team match with NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal as her partner, going up against Cody Rhodes, and it was supposed to be his wife Brandy Rhodes, but she got pregnant, with their daughter Liberty, so it ended up being against Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. Jade Cargill became the first ever AEW TBS champion in January of 2022 and defended the AEW TBS title against opponents such as Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, and Athena. In Jade Cargill's absence, Chris Statlander has begun holding regular open challenges for the AEW TBS Championship. When Jade Cargill does return to AEW, she could either seek a rematch against Statlander or decide to move on following her lengthy reign, so we'll see which way they go about it. We will see. But that's the news on Red Velvet, or on Jade Cargill. Yeah, Hunter, I haven't heard anything of Red Velvet in a long time either, man. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with her. Yeah, Mark Quinn, I believe, is injured. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Mark Quinn is suffering from an injury. And I have news, the other piece of news that I do have for you guys here is an interesting one about Forbidden Door. So let's talk about it. AEW and NJPW Forbidden Door 2023 estimated buys are currently down from last year's Forbidden Door. Last year, the first AEW NJPW Forbidden Door pay-per-view drew about 127,000 pay-per-view buys, which AEW CEO Tony Khan characterized as ahead of all projections and expectations, being that the show was heavily dependent on outside talent with minimal television exposure in the English-speaking world, as well as coming a month after Double or Nothing, disrupting AEW's quarterly pay-per-view schedule. It was widely considered an unqualified success. Now in 2023, we are almost 2 weeks removed from the second Forbidden Door pay-per-view, so pay-per-view buy data is starting to trickle in. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are various metrics to look at compared to Double or Nothing. It looks like the two shows are going to end up at about the same levels, but with Forbidden Door being likely to pull ahead thanks to Japanese buys on New Japan Pro Wrestling World. Compared to last year's Forbidden Door, though traditional pay-per-view buys are down 7.6%. Wrestling Observer newsletter writes that as more buyers shift to streaming the shows online, the gap is likely to close further as online buys, particularly late ones, stemming from word of mouth about the show's quality, are fully accounted for. Wrestling Observer newsletter also noted that despite the response to the show, and the Kenny Omega vs. Will Ospreay match in particular, Forbidden Door's late buys have not been on pace with those of Revolution in March, which did an unprecedented level of late business. The Revolution surge was attributed to word of mouth about the quality of the MJF versus Bryan Danielson 60-minute Iron Man match main event, which in my opinion, like I said, is the match of the year, one of the best Iron Man matches of all time. You'll hear me talk about that match for I don't know how long, but yeah, that's the news on Forbidden Door. And finally, guys, Wheeler Yuta. Let's see, speaking of New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm happy AEW Collision has New Japan Pro Wrestling English commentator Kevin Kelly. I know Kevin Kelly's great at what he does, Hunter. I enjoy Kevin Kelly's work as a commentator. I think he's doing really good on the show. I'm liking it. You know, he's a perfect addition for it. Now, Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta reportedly injured but expected to return for AEW Blood and Guts. The day after his main event loss to Kenny Omega on AEW Dynamite, Wheeler Yuta sent out a one-word tweet that said just shit. Some eagle-eyed fans had his lack of participation in the post-match angle generated instant speculation that perhaps Wheeler Yuta had suffered an injury during the match, and with blood and guts on the menu in the coming weeks, and the Blackpool Combat Club already down a member, that brought about some concern that Wheeler Yuta could be out of the match as well. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Wheeler Yuta is dealing with a hamstring injury of some sort. However, it is not believed to be a full tear, and as a result, he is expected to be back in the ring by the time the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club square off again in Boston. Wheeler Yuta has been a part of the Blackpool Combat Club stable since not long after its formation last year, after his famed bloody Rampage affair with Jon Moxley. He was accepted with open arms into the group. His time learning under the tutelage of such talented wrestlers has indeed proven fruitful to Yuta. As a member of the Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta has held the Ring of Honor Pure Championship twice, while also having the distinction of pinning Kenny Omega for his team's victory in the Anarchy in the arena match at AEW Double or Nothing back in May. So, there you go. That was the news I could give you. I figured, why not? Let's give you guys some news. And just so you guys know about Shota Umino's, because you guys have been asking, what's a Shota Umino? Is he a member of the Blackpool Combat Club? Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling Shota Umino clarifies status with AEW's Blackpool Combat Club stable. Starting next week, New Japan Pro Wrestling star Shota Umino will compete in his first ever G1 Climax tournament. Ahead of the tournament, Umino conducted an interview with New Japan Pro Wrestling discussing his relationship with Jon Moxley and associating with AEW's Blackpool Combat Club. Shota Umino says, Jon Moxley is doing some incredible things in AEW right now. Love or hate them, Umino said. There were a lot of people asking me these few weeks if I was a part of the Blackpool Combat Club. And the answer is that I am not. Me and Mox, it is something that is deeper than a babyface and a heel fan option. And, deeper than a babyface and a heel fan opinion. Umino and Moxley's relationship stems from Moxley's early days in New Japan Pro Wrestling when he acted as Umino's mentor. Both men recently reunited when Umino stepped in to assist the Blackpool Combat Club in a match against the Elite at AEW NJPW Forbidden Door, and earlier in June, Umino, Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli challenged for the never openweight 6-man tag team championships. Umino also had some positive things to say about working with Claudio Castagnoli. This is what Umino had to say. I learned a lot from Claudio, Umino shared. I mean, it really was the first time, considering we didn't meet at all until minutes before we were in the ring, but we were able to hit it off when we were out there. And going out to eat afterwards, he gave me a lot of advice. Now, Umino looks ahead to a grueling tournament that will last nearly a month. And Umino says this, and I quote, "For as demanding as the tour is, it is the biggest chance there is to make a lasting impact and be recognized by the fans and your peers as a top wrestler." Umino then continues by saying, "I am in the same block as Sonata, so beating him would change the conversation in an instant. It's a huge positive to be in a situation like this." End quote. So there you go, guys. Shota Umino is not and I repeat, is not a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Alright guys, so now let's get on to talk about AEW Rampage. That's the news portion of the show, to give you guys the little bit of news that you needed. That way too, for when I do AEW Dynamite, that'll be just like a, straight to the point Dynamite review. I really don't have to put news into it unless something breaks now, so that's why I did it here. But AEW Rampage review and results show here for Friday, July 7, 2023. We got the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament continues, and we got a trios match. So we got plenty of stuff on the 100th episode of Rampage. Let's take a look and see what was up here on the show. So, AEW Rampage for Friday, July 7, 2023 is coming to us live from the Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The 100th episode of AEW Rampage will see two more teams to advance to the semifinals of the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament, as the Jericho Appreciation Society, Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia join forces to take on Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, and Brian Cage and Big Bill team up for the first time to square off with Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal. The winners will join AEW World Heavyweight Champion MJF and Adam Cole Bebe, and International Champion Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. After both teams became one step closer to earning themselves a shot at the AEW World Tag Team Championships this past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. Alright, so now, what else do we have? Let's see. The Dark Order has voiced their frustrations and feelings of desertion towards Hangman Adam Page. In the light of his allegiance with his longtime friends Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, which is the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, the Elite, just as a whole. Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver got their chance to face Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks on the June 28th episode of AEW Dynamite on June 28, 2023 in a trios match, but ultimately fell short. Tonight they have another chance to air out their frustrations as the six men square off in a rematch. Hikaru Shida has been on a 3-match winning streak since joining forces with Dr. Britt Baker DMD to defeat Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose on the May 26th edition of AEW Rampage. Tonight she looks to keep her good fortunes rolling as she goes one-on-one with Marina Shafir. So, 100th episode of Rampage, here we go guys, here we go. Let's do it. So we got Chris Jericho, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur. They greet audiences at home as the Elite and the Dark Order wait inside the ring. So we got the Dark Order versus the Elite to start this show off. So, John Silver and Nick Jackson begin the action. The bell rings. Nick Jackson delivers a shoulder tackle. Reynolds fires back with one of his own, and then clocks Hangman on the apron. Hangman tags in, and Reynolds delivers a boot to his midsection as he looks for a right hand, but Reynolds slides out of the ring, and Matt Jackson then delivers a kick off the apron and then tags in. Hangman delivers a moonsault off the ropes to Reynolds on the outside, and then hands him over to Matt Jackson in the ring. Reynolds then lands a back elbow before Matt delivers a series of suplexes to him. Silver looks to help Reynolds out, but Matt catches him and Reynolds with a double suplex. Hangman tags in and delivers a buckle bomb to Reynolds as the Young Bucks deliver simultaneous kicks. Nick Jackson tags in and sends Reynolds into the top turnbuckle face first, and then tags in Matt. So, at this point here, Evil Uno tags in and fires off some kicks on Matt's midsection in the corner. Silver tags in and whips Matt in the corner. Matt looks to tag out, but Reynolds and Uno pull Nick and Hangman off the apron. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Mac Jackson delivers a crossbody to Silver and Uno on the outside. He slides back in the ring and looks to tag out, but Reynolds prevents him from doing that. Matt fights him off and tags in Hangman. Reynolds delivers a boot to Hangman's face and then levels an interfering Silver before landing a flying clothesline to Reynolds off the middle rope. He goes for a pin, but Reynolds kicks out. The Dark Order triple teams on Hangman before the Elite does the same to Evil Uno. Hangman delivers a standing shooting star press to Uno, and Matt levels Reynolds with the code red as Hangman tags in and delivers a rebound lariat before Matt lands an elbow off the top. He goes for a pin, but Reynolds kicks out. And, goes for a pin, let's see. But Reynolds kicks out. Reynolds then sends Matt crashing into Nick. Reynolds and Silver look for their signature offense, but Matt blocks it as the Young Bucks then deliver the Meltzer driver on Reynolds. And Matt goes for a pin, but Uno breaks up the pinfall. Uno breaks up the pinfall. So now at this point, Hangman and Uno tag in. They go back and forth with some right hands before Hangman lands a clothesline. Hangman looks for the buckshot lariat on Uno, but Uno pulls the referee between himself and Hangman. Konosuke Takeshita tries to get involved, but the referee catches him. While he is distracted, Uno delivers a low blow, as Claudio then appears out of nowhere and catches Hangman with an uppercut, allowing Uno to then pin Hangman for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Your winners of the Dark Order. Was a great match. A really great match. It was. The winners of the Dark Order, I was surprised. The Dark Order actually beat the Elite. After the match, Claudio and Takeshita grab a pair of chairs and look to beat down the Elite with them. Kenny Omega runs down with the chair in hand and makes the save. So there you go. Great match to start the show off. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that, guys. Let's take a look now at what we got and see what the next match is on the show. Why not? Because we should. Okay. Go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Matt Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt head down to the ring, and the Jericho Appreciation Society follows, which is Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. So we got Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia against Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, with Jay Lethal, Karen Jarrett, and Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt in their corner in a blind eliminator tag team tournament quarterfinals match. So let's see how this match ends up going in the end, shall we? Let's see if we get anything good out of this match. Garcia and Hardy begin the action. The bell rings and Garcia does his signature dance. Hardy does his delete taunt, Both men go back and forth until they lock up as Garcia fires off some right hands on Hardy's midsection, but Hardy responds with the back elbow and catapults Garcia into the ropes. Jarrett tags in and looks for the double back elbow with Hardy, but Garcia avoids it and tags in Sammy. Jarrett then delivers a kick to his midsection and then lands the arm drag. Sammy fires back with a drop kick and sends Jarrett crashing to the outside and then goes flying. Jarrett ducks out of the way and Sammy is sent crashing into Jay Lethal. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Hardy and Garcia tag in. Hardy fires off some headbutts and a pair of elbow strikes, and then he executes the 3 faces of deletion. Garcia responds with the back elbow, but Hardy delivers Splash Mountain and sets up for the twist of fate, but Garcia avoids it. Sammy then tags in, and Lethal slides Hardy Jarrett's guitar. Hardy passes it back out to him, and the two begin to argue. This allows for Garcia to tag in Sammy, for Sammy to deliver the GTH, the Go to Hell, and Garcia to pin Hardy for the 1, 2, 3 and the pin of the win. And your winners are the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, and Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society. After the match, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh surround Matt Hardy in the ring. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Jeff Jarrett begin to beat down Matt Hardy, but Brother Zay, Isaiah Cassidy, runs down to the ring to make the save. Satnam Singh levels Brother Zay with a chokeslam before All Ego Ethan Page runs down to help out Matt Hardy and Brother Zay. As All Ego Ethan Page sets up for the Eagle's Edge on Jay Lethal, but Lethal evades the Eagle's Edge with some help from Satnam Singh. So there you go. Looks like this feud is going to continue on and just build up into something more and more and bigger. So we'll have to see where this is going to go, how this is all going to look, but that's where we're pretty much at right now, guys. We're pretty much there. So just wait and see. Okay. Next match. Hikaru Shida heads down to the ring, and Marina Shafir is already waiting inside the ring. So she got the jobber entrance, so we got Hikaru Shida going one-on-one with Marina Shafir. Bell rings, both women lock up. Shida fires off some forearms and a dropkick as Shafir trips Shida and fires off some kicks, and then delivers a hip toss and gets Shida up on her shoulders as she plants her and then goes for a pin, but Shida kicks out. Shida lands a forearm, but Shafir responds with one of her own as she rains down some right hands and then delivers a knee to her head and ascends to the top as she looks to go flying, but Shafir ducks out of the way and cinches in an ankle lock as Shida quickly escapes and plants Shafir with the Falcon Arrow as she follows it up with the Katana for the 1, 2, 3 for the pin and the win. And your winner is indeed Hikaru Shida. For the first match was really good, the second match was really good, this match, it did what it needed to do. I mean, but it wasn't anything spectacular, you know, but it was alright. And that's that. So we then head backstage to Renee Paquette and Chris Statlander, who informs the women's division that she is willing to face anyone at any time and any place for her AEW TBS championship. So, got that. And then we got Mark Henry doing his usual thing. You know, I think it's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. You know, that sort of thing. And, you know, same thing as always. And, after, let's see, then we go to commercial, we come back from the commercial break. Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal head down to the ring as Brian Cage, Big Bill with Prince Nana, they follow. So we got Brian Cage and Big Bill with Prince Nana in their corner going up against Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal in a blind eliminator tag team tournament quarterfinals match. And this is the main event of the evening for AEW Rampage 100. This is the main event for the 100th episode of AEW Rampage right here, guys. So, let's take a look and see what we got in this main event matchup. Alright. So Matt Sydal and Brian Cage begin the action. The bell rings and Cage shoves Sydal. Sydal looks to catch him with a kick, but Cage tosses him into the corner. Sydal manages to roll Cage up, but Cage kicks out and delivers a shoulder tackle. Beretta and Big Bill tag in. Beretta executes a series of chops, but Big Bill responds with a right hand to his midsection. Beretta low bridges Big Bill out of the ring and then looks for a tope suicida as Big Bill catches him and chokeslams him onto the ring apron. He sends him into the ring post spine first and then delivers a fallaway slam. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break as Sydal tags in and fires off some kicks on Cage as Sydal responds with a reverse Canadian destroyer before the action spills to the outside, and Cage dumps Sydal into the crowd as Beretta catches Cage with a spear, and Sydal pounces on Big Bill to level him. Beretta and Sydal toss Big Bill and Brian Cage into the ring and look to fly. Big Bill and Brian Cage catch them both and level them, and then go for a big pin. So Beretta and Sydal, they kick out before Beretta hits Big Bill with a half Nelson suplex. Sydal delivers a knee to Brian Cage's jaw, and then sends to the top and looks for a meteor as Cage catches him and executes a buckle bomb and then sits him on the top turnbuckle and joins him up there. Trent Beretta ascends the ropes and delivers a suplex and then plants him with a pile driver. Matt Sydal then delivers the double knees and goes for a pin, but Cage kicks out. Big Bill then gets in the ring and sets up for a double chokeslam on Beretta and Sydal. Beretta and Sydal hit Big Bill with a double super kick, but Big Bill levels both of them, Beretta and Sydal, with a double clothesline as Big Bill delivers another chokeslam to Beretta before delivering a lariat powerbomb combination with Brian Cage to Matt Sydal for the 1-2-3 in the pin and the win. So your winners are Brian Cage and Big Bill. And they move on in the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament to take on MJF and Adam Cole Baby, which we'll be talking about in the Dynamite review, because that was the main thing of everything that happened earlier. So we will be talking about that, so I hope you guys will be ready for it, because that's what we'll be talking about when we get to AEW Dynamite, because that'll be the next stream that I do, guys. That'll be the next stream that I do, but, you know, after that, AEW Rampage went off the air. That was the main event of the evening for the 100th episode of AEW Rampage. So, we'll see what happens there. I'm trying to see if there's anything of importance. Here's a quick story. Report: AEW pay-per-view schedule could expand if Warner Brothers Discovery gets its way. So far, through AEW's 4-year existence, the promotion has had a significantly lower amount of yearly pay-per-views, starting out with only 4 a year before expanding to 5 last year with the inclusion of AEW NJPW Forbidden Door. Now, as far as AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery negotiate a new television deal, the possibility of AEW expanding their pay-per-view slate is greater than ever. Fightful Select reports that Warner Bros. Discovery has proposed expanding AEW's pay-per-view schedule significantly, including the possibility of AEW running one pay-per-view show a month, similar to WWE's schedule of airing one premium live event a month. It was not confirmed whether these pay-per-view events would be standalone events or would be included in a streaming deal involving AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery streaming service, Max. While it was stressed that an expansion on the number of AEW's pay-per-views was something Warner Bros. Discovery wanted, nothing had been finalized regarding the member, and the situation may change depending on how further negotiations between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery go. So yeah, how do you guys feel about a possible increase of AEW pay-per-views? I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about that, to be honest. I think it's good the way they have it, just to be honest with you. One more, Matt Hardy may have stayed with WWE if Triple H had been in charge. Although the timing didn't work out, AEW star Matt Hardy believes he might have stayed in WWE if Paul Triple H Levesque had been in charge of creative. Speaking to the Daily Mail ahead of next month's All In London, England, Matt Hardy revealed that Vince McMahon had a different position in mind for Matt Hardy, and it wasn't something that he wanted to pursue. Matt Hardy says, and I quote, "I think Vince had already made up his mind," Hardy said. "He wanted me to make the transition into being a producer, and that is where he saw me at. So I knew as long as he was in charge, he was ultimately going to get you there, because that is just how this is," end quote. Hardy stated that the WWE eventually began offering on-screen positions to appease himself and his brother Jeff, but Matt knew that Vince McMahon would eventually get what he wanted. Matt Hardy is a producer. However, Matt Hardy believes things could have been different if Triple H had a say in things. Matt Hardy says, and I quote, "Triple H gave me a very generous offer to wrestle in NXT and do some of my Broken Matt character stuff." Hardy continued, "Maybe they would give me a little bit of a stable, and then I would still be able to supplement that by being a backstage producer with WWE. If it would have been the era where Triple H was in charge, I could have ended up staying then, maybe, but it was the right call for me to leave and step out to AEW. Since coming to AEW, Matt Hardy has been a mentor to Private Party, restarted his tag team with his brother Jeff, and was able to step back into his broken character. Most recently, Matt Hardy has taken control over the contract of All Ego Ethan Page, helping the younger star change his dastardly ways." So there you go, guys. There you go. As far as what I would rate AEW Rampage 100 for the 100th episode of AEW Rampage, I'm going to say that my rating for AEW Rampage 100, the 100th episode of AEW Rampage, will get a 10 out of 10 plus right there, and the 2 thumbs up with the big T seal of approval. Great show. But yeah, so that wraps this one up, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then, I'm not done for the night, though. Give me about 20 minutes from now, so 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the start of AEW Dynamite review and results for tonight, for Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. And we'll review that show. And then we'll be good to go, guys. So, one more show to go, one more review to go, and hope you guys will be on the ride for me, so I hope you guys are gonna be here with me for the one more show. I know you guys might have been expecting Dynamite right off the bat, but I like to go in order, so I figured, hey, let me get Rampage 100 done, and then I'll come right back on right afterwards and give you guys Dynamite. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, everybody, that's going to do it for me right here on this episode of Beyond the Ring with Big T right here today. So I will see all of you guys next time. And yes, there will be a next time for me right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T. That'll be for your AEW Dynamite review results show coming up next. Very shortly here. We'll review AEW Dynamite. And don't forget us, and we won't forget you. And of course, if you want the best, and yes, I do mean the absolute best for all of your professional wrestling needs right here on the internet, right here on YouTube.com today. Always remember to think Beyond the Ring with Big T. And then, of course, everybody, thank you very much for watching and listening to your AEW Rampage 100th episode review and results show for today, Friday, July 7th, 2023. And it was a great show. And thank you, AEW. Thank you, AEW and Tony Khan, for a great Rampage show. And yeah, this was just great to see. It was nice. So, and I got the little news tidbits out of the way during this show. So the Dynamite show, it'll level itself out. It'll probably be an hour long, just like this. But the reason why it won't be any longer, the reason why this was a little longer was because of the news reports. But I got them out of the way, so now we can just have a nice smooth transition into the Dynamite review, rock that and roll that, and get that content out there and we'll be good. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be looking forward to coming right back on here and starting up another show and being right back up on here with you. Don't forget to, leave your likes, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media, check out my website. Everything you need to know, all that info is on this layout right here that you guys can check out. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Donate to the show as well. That's also very important. It really helps the show out. So donate right now. And then, of course, everybody, as always remember and never ever forget that I'm your host, Big T, and that I'll see all of you at the matches, and I'll see all of you for your AEW Dynamite review and results show coming up next. So take care, everybody. Congratulations, AEW Rampage, on 100 successful episodes. Here's to 100 more, but yeah, so take care, everybody. I love you all. And, of course, good night, everybody. Ha 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 ha.
This is M-Dog 20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you were checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring. AEW.